Are you asking did the ass whipping I took from the billionaires change my perspective
yes,
on
I should have asked it that way.
It was a beatdown.
How are you feeling about billionaires these days? Yeah.
Well,
Thomas Massie has been such a great sport about the money that ended up defeating him, the PACs that ended up defeating him, and he has made no qualms about admitting that AIPAC is the power that we need to push back against. And whenever I hear him, laugh about his loss, I understand and sense that this is not a man who's worried about his loss. He's working for the bigger cause, which is the American people. So I really enjoy listening.
We were able to raise $20 million. And so we had enough money. It's just they played dirtier than we were willing to play. They made artificial intelligence ads that showed me in a three-way relationship with AOC and Ilhan Omar. And, people fell for those ads. They thought they were real. So again, there's another libertarian conundrum that I have in addition to campaign finance, which I do equate with speech. But also here's another example of speech. Should they be able to make AI ads and run them with my image in it? You have to think very carefully about the legislative solutions that you don't make the situation worse. I think I could be okay with campaign finance that said, if you're running a congressional race, the only people who can donate are the people who can vote
in your district.
Now, Miriam Adelson may have moved to Kentucky.
She was ready.
She was so motivated.
She'll build a casino on top of your house just to make an example.
I think that is interesting because I know in the past you've pushed for transparency, which I think is an important first step. But, at this point, there's a lot of mass education about who AIPAC is and what they are, et cetera. It's not that transparency, isn't there necessarily, but the problem is that just when you have so much money, of course, it's going to impact outcomes. And we can see it, in this vote from yesterday, too. So many of your colleagues take money from AIPAC or other similar groups. So many of the Democratic caucus, it should be based on the Democratic base. It should be overwhelming and not a problem for Democratic congressmen to vote, for an amendment like that. So you can see the impact of this money in the legislative process, not just electorally.
Well, ultimately, there was a win in my loss, which is I knew they would have to spend insane amounts of money. This is the most expensive congressional primary in the history of the United States. And I knew that if they would have to spend insane amounts of money, and if they did and I lost, it would sort of prove the point that they have too much influence in our own government that the Israeli lobby does. Now, they'll argue these are American citizens or dual citizens who are donating the money, but I would still say they're operating on behalf of a foreign country, and so they are foreign agents. I think they should have to register as such. But there was a victory in it. There was a big waking up. I don't think we would have gotten as many votes on my amendment if people hadn't watched me lose because there was $30 million of Israeli lobby money poured into a little Kentucky race.
Yeah.
And I'd like to make that distinction here because I have now slowly started to sort of get more involved in understanding how the politics works. There's obviously, while we say all politicians are corrupt, there are definitely politicians who get into politics, who get into public service because they want to make a difference. And over time, they might lose their moral compass because of perhaps the money or some of their own buried skeletons. But at the end of the day, I feel like this particular topic is bringing people to this realization that they are in public service and they owe it to their constituents to do the right thing.
But yeah, I don't know what the solution is. And then also on these AI ads, this fall is going to be the Wild West. Like I got a taste of it in my own race. And these weren't online ads. These were like local, Fox cable affiliates running these ads. So not a lot of people saw what's happening. But this November, both parties are going to run the most ridiculous AI ads. And if you write a piece of legislation that says you have to put a disclaimer on there, it doesn't help. That gives them a safe harbor to do anything.
Right.
They could show you doing anything and say, by the way, this was made with artificial intelligence, and people are still going to believe it because people watch videos and they don't read the little stuff at the bottom.
Yeah. My last question before we start, I know we're running a bit short on time, is about Senator Mitch McConnell. Do you believe the proof of life photo? And there's a lot of speculation that they're continuing to keep him in his Senate seat in order to prevent you from being able to run in a special primary or special election in the state. Your reaction?
Well, the special term would be less than 6 months now.
Sure.
And I'm not interested in running for that. I just broke news, I guess, to tell people.
So you did.
Yeah.
And now they can come clean about Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. So Mitch, tell us what's going on.
I mean, I think the public does deserve to see somebody walk up to a podium and say something. Now, whether we can believe that in this day and age is also another question.
You could have AI do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I've said I'm going to introduce term limit legislation called 3 strokes and you're out. Because we've seen this in the House. We saw one of our colleagues disappear for 4 months. No account. By the way, he won his primary and I lost mine. Maybe that was the answer.
And he was depressed, right?
Depressed, which is a catch-all. It could mean, what do you do when you're depressed?
Right.
Maybe you drink. Maybe you're doing something. I'm not saying that he did, but and then we had Kay Granger, who was basically had dementia and was still a congressperson for many months. Is she the
one who was in a memory care facility?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
That's insane.
Yesterday we marked up a bill in judiciary called the National Fossils Act. And I asked them if this was about senators.
This is what happens when you don't have to run for re-election anymore.
That is actually my last question. It's kind of for both of you. We get, every time we do an AMA, we get a question. Do you think that Thomas Massie and Khanna could run for president together and have some bipartisan kumbaya? I've been skeptical of that because I know you guys collaborate on a lot, but I also know there are a lot of ideological differences there would be hard to sort out. But what are you thinking about your future? Is politics still in your future? Senate run, presidential run? What are the sorts of things that podcasts? What are the sorts of things you're considering?
Don't do that.
Well, I'm not going to rule anything out. How about that? But the political terrain right now in Republican primaries is uphill for me.
Yeah.
The war in Iran, this doesn't get reported enough, is 70% popular among Republicans.
Still.
Yeah, still is. And, that's in Kentucky where you have Rand Paul and Thomas Massie. In Oklahoma, where you don't have us, it's 80% popular, according to the pollster that I used. So, there's still, and then you saw the vote on Israel, sending the foreign aid. Republicans say they're conservative, they don't want to send money overseas, but then they have a little asterisk and they say, except we'll give Israel as much money as they need, and we'll empty our coffers for that. So that I do have a few political positions that I think are going to be right in 4 years, 8 years. Maybe it only takes 2 years, but right now I'm against the grain of where you can win certain races. So I'm going to watch for the terrain, see if it changes. Do I eventually get the high ground or not? But in the meantime, I am just so happy to have my life back. I should send Miriam Adelson a thank you card.
Sometimes these things work out in a way that you don't expect. So appreciate both of you guys for coming in. We've been wanting to have you here. We have Ro all the time. We always appreciate your time too. But to have you both together, we really are.
Sir, exit interview before you go. You'll come back here?
Yes. And Ro and I have decided to run against each other.
I thought you were going to endorse my re-election.
You did that for me. We see what that happened.
We like the dynamic duo themselves. Thank you both seriously so much.
Love for you to come back so I can fight with you more about libertarianism.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it. Hey.
All right, let's see what the people are saying in terms of comments. Really appreciate Massie and Khanna doing what they do in Congress. How does the sorting thing work? It's top. Congratulations, no money for genocide. Duh. Let's see. Well, that is a tough one. And see, the world is watching us. I'm from Europe, but keep a close eye on American politics. And Khanna and Thomas Massie are, in my opinion, heroes. See, this is what I'm saying. The world expects us to own up to the ideals and the aspirations we've always had, and we we need to step up to the mantle. Let me just see. What else? What else? Massie Khanna 2028. Nope, no. I don't think that's going to happen. But here's the truth. I feel like this is a conversation that needs to happen. If you are on social media, you do not have to agree with me to get on social media. But what I would love for you to do is start asking questions. I feel like APAC, and I'm not blaming APAC here for doing what they want to do for their self-preservation. You need to ask yourself, where does your self-preservation come into play? Whether it's sending money somewhere else or whether having that money being invested in your own community by you holding your own representatives accountable.